Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Hot
Good
Mix, the
morning.
Asphalt Nation. Today we got a real good topic. We're going to talk about going out and getting business, cold calling, getting that contract signed, and going from start to finish. How you doing this morning, Chip?
Good. How are you? We actually did some cold calling a few months ago that ended us up with the job that we're on right now.
Nice. So one thing I do want to ask anybody that is on here live, if you like and share this, you're going to get a free gift. And what I need you to do is like and share the video, then drop me a DM with your email address, and I'm going to send you a free copy of my one ebook that just came out. So that's for everybody that likes and shares. So we want to try to build this and get it bigger and get this growing. So we're going to get started. Cold calling. I know everybody, not everybody, the majority of the people dislike cold calling. And I don't know why. I'm a people
Really
person.
should.
Chip's a people person. We like going out, doing the old school thing, shaking hands and meeting people. So, Chip, do you want to take us through your process of how you do it? And then I'll do mine, how I do ours.
Okay. Well, to start with, realize that asphalt and concrete and liabilities and solutions to those liabilities are literally everywhere. That, like I said, that's what we were doing today, going out and doing some grinding on a cold call that we did several months ago that actually ended up being a really good account. So what we do is we have a business card in our hand. We do try to qualify the contact. We try to get a hold of the manager or somebody with some kind of authority or a streamline to the manager or to the ownership. We just introduce ourselves, hand them our business card, and tell them what we can do for them, and then just talk to them for a few minutes. Get to know them a little bit, both business-wise and personally. It's actually pretty simple. You get people talking about themselves. That's their favorite subject. And then they'll tell you, if you listen, what they need out of you. And then I leave them alone for a few days. Normally, they're automatically thinking about the problems, the issues that they have, but you got to give them a couple days to think about it, and then you call them back if you can get if you can get a number and some contact. It's really, really simple, and I'm probably even making it more complicated than it is. You just talk to them, hand them your card, talk about the problems that they might have that you can solve, and then just let them rest. Don't try and hard sell. Don't try and line up the next $100,000 job. Just let them know you're there and you're available as a colleague to help them solve their problem.
Nice. So one thing we do is my wife, Jeanette, she goes out, and when she's out, she'll go out and cold call 15 to 30 accounts a day in one day. And because let's face it, it's a numbers game. The more people you see, the more results you're going to get. And I know when she goes in, she'll go in, introduce herself, say who she is, who she's with, explain our services, and point out some problems that they could have in their parking lot. And she'll flat out ask them, hey, can we give you a free proposal? So if you're not ready now, it allows you the time to budget your money in to be able to get the services done in the future. And if we can get a proposal in their hands, 1 out of every 4 we close. And so it's definitely a numbers game, but you got to build a connection with these people.
Right, exactly.
I don't believe in hard selling, and I'm not going to be that doom and gloom guy. You're going to break an ankle in a pothole. I mean, it's there, but I don't lead with that. I just go in and I tell them, say, look, here's what we do. Kingdom Property Solutions. I can see your parking lot does need some attention. The lines are worn, a lot of cracks. Those cracks are going to develop into potholes, and then that's when you're going to start developing into major problems. But I tried to build a connection when I go in, and my wife does the
Right.
same thing. If we're going into a big place, I try to do a little bit of research. I mean, you can find stuff out so fast on people through social media, what they're into, if they got kids, their kids are active in sports. And I try to develop a relationship and build a connection. And
Exactly.
by building that connection, it gives you a long-term client versus a one-time sale.
That's
Um,
right.
and you try to make notes. Okay, they have a son that's 14 years old that plays baseball. I coached baseball for 13 years. So I can build that connection. And when you talk to that person again, bring it up, hey, how'd your son's season go last year? And it
Right.
makes them feel important because they are important, because they're putting food on your table by giving you the business. Um, what are some things you do to follow up with these customers?
So a few days later, we'll call and just say, hey, I'm sure you remember when we stopped in, wondered if you'd had anything that you needed us to look at. We can go ahead and forward over our insurance so that you have all that on file. And again, you just kind of keep making soft touches so they remember who you are. And most people appreciate not being pushed into a sale. A lot of times it just takes them thinking about it or tripping on their own issue and going, man, somebody could fall, but now I got a guy that can take care of that. And, I won't say I do a gloom and doom, but I do point out liabilities, and I do point out that we've gotten into a society where a lot of people are out for that windfall, that big suit, that lawsuit that sets them up, and they're out there and they're looking for something. And I kind of keep it in my back pocket, but I will mention it, but not in a real aggressive kind of nature. And then after we make a sale, we generally, you got to be careful not to do too much of it, but we always value add. If there's something else that we can do that's very simple for us to do and not costly, we'll give them a little bit, just so they know that we're compassionate towards their needs also. But the follow-up is very important. You got to be the person on their mind, and you got to be the person, sending that email back in, if not a phone call. I'm real old school, so I like to actually look people in the eyes, and I like to talk to them on the telephone and, read their inflections rather than just do the email and the texting thing. My daughter Mary's been very successful using a combination of the old way and a lot of technology as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I prefer shaking hands and talking to people as well. It's so much more personable. One of our viewers, Chris Bishop, just wrote in here on the other platforms. Whenever you're driving around places, take pictures of company signs, and then
Right.
later on a rainy day, you call that company up and say, "Hey, I saw your lot. Could use some TLC," and make that first contact that way. That's
Yeah.
great, Chris. Thanks for sharing that. The Yeah, I do that as well. So I'll be driving past a place, and like if I'm on a way to look at a job, I'll just click a few photos, and then at the end of the evening, I get back. I do just go through them, get the contact information, and then start doing it the next day if possible. But going back to the follow up is extremely important, and I think that's where a lot of people miss it. Is
Yeah.
they either wait too long or
Or don't do it at all.
exactly. And it's huge. I mean, you just spent the time doing that work, getting that proposal together, and then to not follow up is it's insane. You just
I'll tell
need
you
to
one
get
of
there
the
and
things,
follow up.
early on, and I had to teach this to Mary as well. Early on, my own numbers scared me. I would look at the bid after I put it together and go, wow, that's a lot of money. Learn how to send it anyway. Just
Mhm.
send it, because the worst they can do is say no, or they can say, we don't have quite that much in our budget. Can you do something different in a different budget frame? And once you've made that connection with them, they're a lot more comfortable calling you back and talking about it, and having a back and forth rather than a yes or no. Because generally speaking, things are not yes or no. It's going to be a back and forth a little bit.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, we usually wait about 2 to 3 days, generally 3. So we use HubSpot, so it kicks us out reminders. For people listening, if you're not using a customer management tool such as HubSpot or any of those platforms, you really should look into it. It's not that expensive. I think HubSpot's like for the basic ones, like $300 a year, a little over 300, and but it it keeps all your customers' information there. You can put your deals in there, and it just keeps track of everything. And it's nice because for us, my wife has it on her phone, I have it on my phone, plus we have it on our computers, and we can use it in any of those platforms or any of those devices. But I can see what she's doing. So she can put in, she went and seen XYZ customer, uh, submitted a proposal to me. It has all the information in it. And then we just go through, do the proposal, send it through the platform. And well, it's tied to our proposal platform. So it automatically loads in there, and it just makes your life a lot easier. It takes off some of the tasks for you, and it also helps streamline it, and it makes everything so much more efficient.
Keeps it organized.
Yeah, and if you're a bigger company, like say you have, you're the owner, and then you have somebody that does your estimating, and a crew out doing the work as well, it holds accountability, because if one of the things gets stopped, you can see where it gets stopped at, and you can go back to the person and say, hey, what's going on with this? Why isn't this done yet? So the and then after you make that contact and then you get that contract signed, it's important to be able to get a deposit. Uh, Prices are going up everywhere, so you need to get the deposit. That way you can help pay for that job and have most of your materials paid for and some of your labor.
That's right. That's real important. Cash flow days. On bigger jobs, you end up spending a lot of money to do the job. And then if you're sitting in a cash flow deficit, it makes things kind of tough. So I no longer feel bad about asking for a deposit. We typically ask for between 30 and 50%. And again, once you've built a rapport and built some trust, then you shouldn't have any trouble with that, and it'll sure help your cash flow and your position and being able to actually do a better job, because you're not worried about cutting a corner because you need to save $100 somewhere.
Yes, exactly. So when you go out and cold call, do you have a plan in mind, or do you just go out and?
Man, I've done this so long, I just wing it. So driving down the road in just this couple of minutes, I saw 3 destroyed car stops. I saw potholes and broken curb lines everywhere in several different shopping centers, because we're driving down the road right now. I mean, at any time you could stop and, hand your business card and tell them, hey, I can fix that for you. And no, I don't really have a plan. I just go in and be me.
Yeah. So when I go out, I'm just driving along and I'll see a place and I just pull in. I'll stop and get a cup of coffee somewhere, see some cracks and faded lines. I'll tell the guy at the convenience store, say, hey, who can I talk to about the parking lot? And it's funny because a lot of times they get this shock, like, what's wrong with the parking lot? And, they're scared. And you explain to them what you want to do, and they usually give you the contact information. If not, you just leave a card. That's one thing when we go in and do cold calling, we always try to get the contact information of the person that we need to talk to. uh, besides just leaving our card, because our card could get laid on the counter somewhere on the desk and get lost or thrown away by mistake or intentionally. And this way you have information you can follow up with that potential client.
Right.
Now, when Jeanette goes out, she usually picks an area and she'll hit this one road and she'll just drive and hit both sides of the road going. She'll hit one side
Mhm.
going down and come back home and hit the other side.
Yeah.
And I think the farthest she did was like 20, maybe 25 miles on this one road, which is the road that's right near our office. And she'll just drive 20 miles, 25 miles one way, hit those and come back up through and spend the whole day
Yeah.
out. But
That's that's how we do it when we're out there, intentionally cold calling. A lot of times it's unintentional.
yeah,
Um, and I'll kind of slide into another topic here. That's where it's real important to have your branding in place. All of our trucks have some sort of a sign on them. It's all, everything matches, and big signs on the truck. And when you're doing that cold calling, running up and down the road, people are seeing your truck. And then a few days later, they go, when they call you, say, I see your trucks everywhere. And it's amazing how much that little bit of cold calling with the truck out and about, that actually increases your visibility so much, especially when you've got branded matching, or at least your name on the side of the truck. Something. You got to have something. For the new guys, it's way better to have something than nothing.
one thing we used to do, it made me think of it with the branding. Our first couple years to get our brand out there and get the name out there locally, uh, I'd buy yard signs and get 100 of them at a time. It cost you like $3.50 for dual-sided print. And we kept ours basic. It was a white sign with dark green letters. And it actually said Kingdom Seal Coating, and that was it. Even though our
Yep.
company's Kingdom Property Solutions, the seal coating stands out because people, oh, I need to get my driveway done, or I need to get this parking lot looked at. So what I would do is at off ramps, I would put the signs out at an off ramp where people are getting off, stopping, where they have all the political signs out during the elections. That's where I would put my signs. And the state would, Pennsylvania, they have a policy that you're not supposed to do that, but all they do is take them and throw them away. So if I get a sign out there that's out there for a week and I get one customer off of it, it's worth it. And but that really helped with our name recognition. I mean, I was sticking that everywhere. And I felt it was much better than door hangers because I don't really like going to door and developments hanging door hangers when we were starting out. And but those road signs and those yard signs worked really nice. So keep that in mind. And the best place I found was supercheapsigns.com. They're like 350 a piece if you buy 100 of them, and the quality's great. But yeah. So what else would you like to add, Chip, before we?
Well, so we got a little bit from cold calling to marketing. Um, Maybe next week we'll do a little bit of a segment on marketing, unless you have another plan.
Yeah, we can
Um,
do that.
yeah, we do all the local restaurants. We just take them an unlimited supply of our printed pens,
Hmm.
and we're on every tabletop advertisement in our area that we can get. And it's that's to build community. That's not really so much for marketing, but we have gotten lots and lots of local calls that way, and it just helps people know you're out there, because a lot of times it's not the person that ends up with your information that buys the job. It's their friend that's looking for somebody, and they go, oh, you know what? A guy stopped in the other day, and here's his card. And so that's, there's residual effects from your marketing efforts that you don't really realize are out there.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll touch on that next week. I want to thank our sponsors, Was Supply, and that's wassupply.com. You can get all your supplies, sealer, equipment. They're the distributor for the Pro Coat seal coating rigs. And then also want to thank Stencil Plus and Oceans Digital Agency. If you guys need any marketing thing, reach out to Oceans. And I'm going to put the links for all those sponsors in the comment section after we're done the call here. So again,
Right.
if you like and share this out to your friends, out on your feeds, drop me a DM and I'll send you a free copy of my newest ebook.
Oh,
Mr.
that's
Stewart,
exciting.
I hope you have an amazing day. Be safe, and everybody out there, be safe.
You as well, Mr. Smith. Have a great day, everybody. And don't forget, if they don't know who you are, they're not going to call you. Don't be afraid to just say, hey. That's all it takes.
Exactly. All right, guys. See
See
you
ya.
next week. Take care.
Bye.